Right, round we go again. So, we did win with Maxx, so I'm probably going to end up cutting Maxx. I think I'll swap back to Dardol just because I want to see how the deck feels again. I don't have an overall combo, though, that I want to go for with Dardol. I mean, I could just go for Nitro, I suppose, but Nitro and Dardol also seems just pretty awful, especially the turn you bring it out, because how much resources you need to bring Nitro out, right? But anyway, Shiyana. Oh, perfect, straight away against Dorinthea. Fortunately, it's the wrong Dorinthea, right? Because we like to steal Dorinthea's ability to use the flails, but this is the classic battles one, right? Right, so it has to be Dawnblade, which is a bit awful for us, right? No benefits. But what we are going for is blood on our hands off of High Striker to just swing with our flails, right? Everything else is just, I guess, heavy hitting to get there. But High Striker, we want to land off Crippling Crush or Starstruck, most likely. Right, they're the big ones that can actually deal enough damage. Well, this is not a bad start, either. So we can Spark of Genius, we can stick Starstruck in the arsenal, because I now remember what Premeditate does. This doesn't go in the arsenal, this goes in the arsenal, right? Because it's made for Ranger. I always mess that up. Okay, so they're Dawnblading things. So if I'm doing Spark of Genius turn 1, means I can block with Blazing Aether. I'd very much like to keep these two. So I suppose actually the go would be to use Crown of Providence. I mean, just thinking about it, they'd probably have a buff, no? They'd have to have a buff. And cycle the Blazing Aether, right? And then look for another card I can block. Oh, God. That's not instant. Alright, so that was not great. We'll see. Is this Dorinthea actually better? I feel like the hero ability wasn't that great, right? It seems like they're itemized properly, so it's a proper working deck. Yeah, well, I screwed myself. So I could block with Spark of Genius, I suppose. You know, we'll take our lumps, right? Just the way it goes sometimes. And we'll play Golgarian Tome, play Spark of Genius. They do anything else for their turn? Their first turn seems to be quite... They didn't use Hidden Run, they didn't use... That's interesting. We'll take Dorinthea anyway. So we'll play Golgarian Tome. What do we find? Blood on our hands. Play Spark of Genius, obviously. I'd very much like to draw into High Striker. That would finish this. Pay 0, bring out a core, and put Starstruck in the arsenal. Right, nice early start. Then we can go into a hefty turn. Right, so we get 3 plus 3. Again, Crippling Crush is kind of better. Is it? What is this? The only attacks they make player activate during their next turn attacks with base greater than damage dealt. And it's not can't, so that does shut out Dawnblade. Okay, so I get 2. We need 7, so 2, 3, so 5. So I can block with Crippling Crush, that's it. Right, and then I can just go Blood on Hands, Tome. No, that's only 6. I'd have to use Deep Blue, but that's fine. Right, so we'll just block with Crippling Crush. And we'll just go for our big Starstruck. We're not really doing flail things yet, so that really, again, I just want to get rid of Fleetfoot Sandals. Also, I didn't check. Control hits, create copper. What's the copper payoff for normal Dorinthea? We have to take the 7. Because if I block, then they're just keeping up the pressure. We have to literally go down to 4 and then just hope that our turn is enough to then just flip the table, basically. Which it should be, especially if I chuck in Goliath Gauntlet. It should shut out their turn, and also do a hefty amount of damage. So what are we doing? Deep Blue off of Blood on our hands, because I want to keep that for later. So that's 3, 5, 7. Yeah, so I can play Premeditate. And then we also get the Ponder token, so we can get another card in our arsenal, so it should be fine. 2... So that's 12 as well, plus the 3, so it's 15. Yeah, so they're going to be hard pressed to block this. Although at the same time, again, this won't pressure them. Yeah, no, they'll still want to block it a little bit. I'm thinking, would I let this slide, then just give a turn to then try and go for Dawnblade? And I probably would, because I'd be a bit ballsy. Yeah, okay, so Deep Blue first, I believe. Cycling Blood on our hands. That gets us our 5. So we can play Premeditates. We can play Goliath Gauntlets. And then we can play Starstruck. And pitch the last two. We're a 15, right? So that's 8 still, so I need another 4 to not be shut out. Battle Worn, Temper, Blade Wreck. So the only thing they really lose is a Crown. Unfortunately, we kind of needed 2 attacks, right? Going for some sort of attack last time would have been better. It's still not. They must have a defense reaction. Yeah, they must. There's no reason to block that much if you're not going to, go for the full. Question is, was that enough to sink their hand? And the answer is probably no, in all honesty, off of their Dawnblade, right? It's not like we have another good turn set up. There's 3, block with Blazing Aether. I'm sure they have a reaction though, so I should have potentially overblocked given our HP. They don't. It's fine. Problem is, again, our next turn is... I don't have anything for our next turn. Right? I can swing with the weapons, but that does not get me much. We get a +1. I can swing for 2 damage, but at the same time I'm putting myself down by 2. I mean, I go for High Striker, I suppose. But they'd be somewhat dumb not to obviously block both flails. And I have to, because it's the only thing I can do with my turn anyway. So flail 1. If they block... Yeah, base, so I can still use that. Fleetfoot Sandals. I think this needs to go. I think I'd rather Mage Master or something that allows me to combo some other cards together. They're letting the flail through, so I do get the copper for Blood on Hands. But again, we don't have much. I have Buzzsaw Trap, which is great, right? Especially if they go for a big first Dawnblade. First time Dawnblade, you get Go Again. So it's not it hits, gains Go Again. So Buzzsaw Trap would be enough. So whether or not then this is enough. God, this is actually tricky. So it's whether or not they use a reaction on this one or the next one, right? So I kind of need to block with something to bait the damage, to bait them using a reaction. But then I have nothing left for the next Dawnblade. So either way, it's a loss, right? Because even if I waited for them to do Buzzsaw, yeah, then they just attack with the second one. So we would have lost anyway, unfortunately. In fact, the double flail is what put me at being able to be KO'd. What did I do wrong, thinking about it? I think I should have done the Premeditate and the Starstruck on the first round anyway. I think that would have gone better. They want to flex. No? I was just worried if I had another trap. So that wasn't bad, right? For what we're going for. I just need to play a little bit more defensive. I think I need to swap out cards and take more healing. I think there's a good backbone to utilize from Bravo, one of the tanky Bravo setups that I've seen, right? Where we run healing, and then we basically try to mimic them, but then go into weapon stuff. If only there was more one-handed weapons for Blood on Hands. Hopefully there's some specialized weapons in heavy hitters, right? Because I like the flails, again, because you don't need to pay resources. So if you can actually get Blood on Hands off, you can swing incredibly easily, right? Both of them get twice attacks, use it twice, blah, 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 plus any of the buffs from Dorinthea or anything like that. It's fantastic. It's just hard to get there with enough HP. That's the big hurdle for me. We definitely need to pressure a bit earlier. But again, this is sort of the negative crux of things, is all the combos in Flesh and Blood seem great, but just doing normal things is better. So for instance, this, like Art of War, normal reactions, all that's not really a combo to me, right? Yes, they're cards that combo together, but it's not, your alternative win condition, like in a lot of other games. You're just doing your normal things, right? In any reactions you draw into, you want to play. I'm looking for specific cards. And when it comes to Flesh and Blood, right, there is no singular combo that I've come across to date that has that is above average work for above average payoff, right? Even that's Starstruck. That was fantastic, was it not? A 15 Starstruck, but it got shut down easily. And it didn't even neuter their hand for them to go into something else, right? And Bravo, anyone or any normal Guardian can play that significantly easier, right? So, again, weighing things up, combos are just not a big thing in Flesh and Blood, at least for now, because again, the efficiency of just what you can normally do is significantly greater, right? If I just run different lines with Shiyana, I think we'd be fine too, right? If I took more of the generic heavy hits and just tried for a big Shiyana, that would be fine as well. But I want to get combos off. Works with Melody, so there's a chance with everyone else, right? Anyway, we'll leave it there. Short game today, but I think we'll end up just doing one games. And I think I'm going to try and obviously explain my actions a bit better, which I feel like I'm starting to do because I do obviously understand the game a lot better at this point. Anyway, hope you enjoyed nonetheless. See ya.